drag racing do burnouts designed to heat up the tires. The rubber compound used in these very wide slicks is designed to operate at the highest possible temperatures. So the only way you can get them hot on a race car is to actually burn them. And here you see the clouds of smoke coming off the burning rubber of those 17-inch wide slicks. Billy Meyer's competitor in round number 1 of racing is Henry Harrison at the wheel of the LA Hooker. The Corvette-bodied car out of the Los Angeles area. Billy hailing from Waco, Texas. Billy finished 4th in the world in 1979, making a hard run for that World Championship title that will culminate out at the World Finals in Ontario, California in October. The burnouts for both cars completed, the drivers inching their way up to the starting line. 2,000 horsepower at the beck and call of each of the racers. Henry Harrison out in front of Billy Meyer. He's extending his lead. Then something's going wrong, and Billy from behind wins it. Billy Meyer, 6.51 seconds, 227 miles an hour, and he fell way behind right at the start. As we watch again, you see Henry Harrison in the far lane. Billy beginning to lose traction. He drops way back. Henry extending his lead. Then all of a sudden, something may be going wrong with Henry Harrison's car. Some smoke from Billy Meyer, but he's the winner.
So even the trouble-plagued races are close. In the 650s, both cars. What happened, Billy? We couldn't see from here.
It started sprinkling up on the start line. I think the windows got a little water on it and stuff. And I changed motors last night, as you know, and this one was just a little too stout, and it smoked the tires about 50 feet out. And had a little trouble getting it hooked back up, but when I did, I guess he had trouble too, and I drove by him.
Well, you were both having equal amount of trouble, I guess, but against a guy like Henry Harrison, he'll never lift.
No, that's true, and I've always found that, it pays to pedal it and get it hooked up and then get going.
By pedal it, you mean?
By lift one time and then get back in the throttle, and the tires should be hooked up by then. If not, you're way behind anyway. So.
Dale Armstrong, the driver of the Speed Racer car, moved up out of Pro Comp Eliminator. He had practically dominated that category in driving all types of cars, from altereds to alcohol-burning funny cars to dragsters. But this is his first shot at the championship circuit at the wheel of a nitro-burning funny car, and he qualified in a very, very tight show. This is Ron Colson. He's the driver of Roland Leong's Hawaiian. Both drivers setting themselves for the start. Side by side, they are at the middle of the course, and then Ron Colson pulls it out in the last few hundred feet. He just drives away from Dale Armstrong. 6.13 seconds his elapsed time. His speed over 242 miles an hour, and a tremendous charge out of Roland Leong's car with Ron Colson at the wheel. You see the move right here. Look at him pull away from Dale Armstrong. Ron Colson, the winner in round number 2 of funny car racing. A disappointed Dale Armstrong heads back to offer his congratulations to Ron Colson as Colson moves on in the single elimination bracket that is championship drag racing. This below qualifier, Paul Smith. The car is entitled The Sting. Alongside of Paul is Kenny Bernstein. Again, we look at the Christmas tree as it is seen from the point of view of the driver. In fact, Paul Smith would be looking at the Christmas tree just about the way you see it here. Staging lights are lit, the tree goes green, and Kenny Bernstein smokes the tires off the starting line. He backs out of it. Paul Smith very close to the center line, but an easy run, a fine 6.16 second, 234 miles an hour, and Kenny Bernstein just coasted through. It was at the first major race this season. He lost control of the car right off the starting line at the Winter Nationals and hit the guardrail. Here he was much more fortunate, able to lift off the throttle, bring the car under control, and Paul Smith very close to the center line.
Dave, Paul Smith concerned that he might have crossed the center line. You did not.
Didn't know. I thought I did. I come close, and I kind of drove her back there. I think it ran pretty good. Anybody here?
Yeah, it ran pretty good. This little budget operation just ran 616.
Oh, that's good.
It's fixing to get interesting around here. The Hawaiian ran at 13, now you at 16. Will the track take more power?
I think it's limited for today until it gets a little hotter, the track. They smoked the tires in the middle, that's why I don't cross the center line.
And now you don't have a trailer full of spare parts. Do you think you hurt it?
Yeah, she got some pistons. I think I got enough to fix it. if there ain't nothing else wrong. I don't have a spare motor with me.
If you ran out of parts, could you borrow them or buy them here? Or
I think I can borrow a motor from Kenny Bernstein, the one I just beat. He's my buddy.
Okay, Paul Smith is going to rely on some sportsmanship from Kenny Bernstein before this is all over.
The final pair of cars in the 8-car field that made up the first round of eliminations. Funny car eliminator, Trip Shoemake at the wheel of Johnny Loper's car, while Tom Hoover, the owner-driver of his own operation, the Showtime Corvette. These two men finished 6th and 7th in the world in last season's World Championship points chase. Proudly bearing the number 6 on the side of the car is Tom Hoover. Number 7 was Trip Shoemake. The overflow crowd looking on intently as both drivers concentrating, and a slight lead for Trip Shoemake off the starting line. And he holds on to the finish. A close race. Trip Shoemake 6.25 seconds. A losing time, only 6.27 seconds. Just 0.02 of a second separating the two cars at the finish line. Shoemake held that slight lead throughout the entire quarter-mile race. And your winner, Trip Shoemake.
Another day, another dollar. Ow! I love it. I'm loving it. Okay.
Do you think Trip is just a little happy? We'll see him in round number 2 at the Cajun Nationals.
Shirley, down.
Easy on the curves. Life isn't all spark plugs and horsepower. Even a champion racer likes a little soft music now and then. And an interesting man? Anytime. English leather makes a man very interesting. Its clean, masculine scent gives him the inside track with me. That's why all my men wear English leather, or they wear nothing at all.
Back at the Cajun Nationals, I'm Dave McClelland, along with Steve Evans, and the crowd that was in the pit area is now jammed into the grandstands, cheering on their favorites as we move into the semi-final round of Pro Stock Eliminator. Regarded by many as the most sophisticated cars in all of drag racing, these Pro Stock vehicles have the capability of going over 160 miles an hour. Quite a ride for their drivers like Lee Shepard of Arlington, Texas. He'll be facing Kevin Roddy. Roddy bringing his Camaro from Tucson, Arizona. Frank Iaconio comes to the Cajun Nationals from Totowa, New Jersey. And the man that's a legend in his own time, Bill Grumpy Jenkins from Malvern, Pennsylvania. Lee Shepard in the near lane, Kevin Roddy in the far lane. A pair of Camaros leave the starting line. A close race as we near the finish line, and by about a half a car length, Lee Shepard, the winner of 2 major NHRA championships already this year, wins in this semifinal round over Kevin Roddy. Elapsed time for Shepard, 8.56 seconds, speed over 158 miles an hour. After a year's layoff, Bill Jenkins back behind the wheel of his Camaro. These cars must utilize a body as delivered from the factory, but a lot of modifications are allowed. The engines allowed 2 4-barrel carburetors, and they must run on gasoline. No better examples of the state-of-the-art than right here. Frank Iaconio, number 2 in the world last season, and Bill Jenkins, regarded by many as Mr. Chevrolet. Got a lot of competition now, and some of the best coming out of the team of Iaconio and Allen. Frank Iaconio with a hole shot off the starting line, and is pulling away from Bill Jenkins in the middle of the course, and it's Frank Iaconio into the finals. Over 400 entries began competition here 3 days ago, leading to that magic moment when a Cajun Nationals champion is crowned in each of the 8 eliminator categories of championship drag racing, along with Pro Stock motorcycle. We've seen Top Fuel, Funny Car, and Pro Stock. Some of the sportsman category racing was concluded earlier today. Winning the Cajun Nationals for the 2nd year in a row from Stuttgart, Arkansas, your stock eliminator champion, Dennis Oliver, some $4,000 richer as a result of his win. In Super Stock Eliminator, winning his first national event title, Charlie Taylor of Lumberton, North Carolina, taking home about $7,500 in cash and contingency awards. In Modified Eliminator, Garley Daniels, winning his 2nd title, defeated Pete Smith. Daniels out of Grantsboro, North Carolina, also about $7,500. And a pair of roadsters running off for the competition eliminator title, 25-year-old Ricky Clark from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, won his first major event title, defeating Robert Newberry. The final of Pro Comp Eliminators got a hometown favorite from Araby, Louisiana, a suburb of New Orleans, is A.J. Sarantine. He's in the far lane. In the near lane is Gene Bowl from Baton, Texas. Both cars utilizing Chevrolet-type engines, running on alcohol in Pro Comp Eliminator. And Sarantini with low elapsed time of the entire event for Pro Comp Eliminator, 6.58 seconds. His speed, 208 miles an hour, winning his first ever national event title. A.J. Sarantine, the winner in Pro Comp Eliminator. Pro Stock Motorcycle finds Terry Vance, former world champion, riding a Suzuki against the winner of the Gator Nationals Championship in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mike Keat. Vance doing his burnout, telling his crewman something is not quite right as he shakes his head as he gets pushed back towards the starting line. Superbike Mike winning the title at the Gator Nationals. Got his work cut out for him as Terry Vance was the low qualifier in Pro Stock Motorcycles. A great deal of concentration by both drivers to avoid a red light with these tricky little bikes. And it is a red light for Superbike Mike. Terry Vance has the automatic win, but he's giving it a race all the way to the finish line. 9.07 seconds, the time for Terry Vance. His speed 146 miles an hour. Here you see just how it happened. He left too soon.
Well, talk about qualifying in a stacked deck. The number one qualifier, Terry Vance, was the only rider on a Suzuki up against 7 Kawasaki's, but here you are, the winner, the Pro Stock.
I'll tell you, Steve, it's tough. I'm out of breath from the excitement of this thing. We've run real well, and we're really happy to be here. I'd just like to say thanks to the folks at Suzuki, and man, this is a hell of a race.
A lot of happy winners in our sportsman categories in Pro Stock Motorcycle. Here you see them again, winners at the 5th Annual Cajun Nationals. You can always tell when your luck goes bad. First you break your race car, then your tow vehicle goes away, and you're left with nothing but foot power to get you back to the pits. We'll be back at the Cajun Nationals in a moment. Semi-final racing in Funny Car Eliminator finds the number one qualifier, Paul Smith, at the wheel of Larry Kugel's car called the Sting, racing against Ron Colson, who drives the famed Hawaiian for Roland Leong. The burnouts are over. The drivers, every effort now pointed to getting a good start. The winner of this race moves into the finals, and up in smoke goes Ron Colson. Paul Smith has got it made. The winner and moving into the finals for the first time in his career, Paul Smith. Here as we watch again, you see the car of Ron Colson losing traction almost instantly off the starting line, and that puts Paul Smith in the finals.
Well, there was no question in anyone's mind that Paul Smith had the performance after qualifying number one, but they said he couldn't last. What do you say to that?
I say we got one more round, and we got 8 new pistons from the Blue Max, and we got her made, I think.
So you had to borrow some parts, but it looks like the Cajun Nationals might be almost here.
I hope so. I hope so. I tell you, I've been so close, but never got all the way yet.
A man that's been all the way, and he's been to the winner's circle before, is Ron Colson, but he will not make it today as the car up in smoke off the starting line. The final pair in this semifinal round finds Billy Meyer from Waco, Texas, number 4 last season, racing Trip Shoemake. Shoemake out of Phoenix, Arizona, drives for Johnny Loper. He was 7th in the world last year. A very ecstatic young man after his first round win, but he's got some tough competition here with Billy Meyer. Again, looking at the Christmas tree starting system, you see the drivers pulling into the pre-stage and then the staging light. When that point's there, the switch is thrown and the tree goes green, and it is Trip Shoemake up in smoke. Billy Meyer just as straight as he can be, but Trip Shoemake all over that racetrack. He avoids hitting the guardrail and avoids the center line, but it is Billy Meyer who moves into the finals. Elapsed time 6.32 seconds. That means Paul Smith, by virtue of his better elapsed time in this semifinal round, will have the all-important lane choice going into the finals. Here you see Shoemake using up all of his lane as Billy Meyer heads for the finish line. Steve?
Billy Meyer, after a disappointing Gator Nationals crossing the center line round one, here you are. You're going into the final.
Yeah, it's nice. I didn't, after that first round, we kind of made a mistake after we changed motors last night. I don't know why he gave me that lane. It was kind of the deal like I did at Gainesville. Why did I give that guy that lane? And that does it sometimes.
You told me this morning that you really wanted a hot day, and we've got a very cool one, but it's still paying off for you.
Well, I thought I was going to run good first round, too, so can't always listen to me.
Racing moves to semifinal top